Hi, I'm Jackie from Speedcafe and welcome to this week's Motorsport Wrap. It was a busy weekend of Supercars, F1, IndyCar and MotoGP and more, so let's get into it. First to Perth for the Supercars, where Coca-Cola Erebus driver Brodie Kostecki continues to top the championship standings, but not without drama. The 25-year-old put up a fight for the lead in race 7 at Wanneroo when Shane van Gisbergen came charging from behind in the closing laps. Car 99 copped several bumps before van Gisbergen drove past, taking the checkered flag, with Kostecki copping a bad sportsmanship warning. The Erebus team lodged a protest after Shane van Gisbergen escaped any penalties for making contact with car 99. However, they were unsuccessful, race stewards arguing car 97 already had overlap with Kostecki's car when the Erebus driver attempted to cover the inside line. Race 8 saw the Coca-Cola Erebus Camaros take a dominant 1-2 win, with Will Brown finishing first ahead of Kostecki, while race 9 saw Red Bull Ampol Racing's Brock Feeney convert his pole position to victory, followed by a 2-3 for Erebus, with Brown second ahead of Kostecki. The commanding performance of the Camaros comes after new centre of gravity changes were introduced in the lead up to the weekend. The Chevrolet teams were forced to shift almost 5 kilograms of ballast to a bar near the top of the fuel cell. However, the team that won the trophy for the most prepared with the best pre-race training regime was Walkinshaw Andretti United. Chaz Mostert and Nick Percat flexed their remote control race car skills, frisbee throwing prowess and safety harness speed at Perth's Optus Stadium ahead of the round. Supercars heads to Tasmania in 3 weeks' time for the Ned Whiskey Super Sprint. Next to IndyCar at Barber Motorsport Park, where Scott McLaughlin drove to his first victory of the season and 4th of his IndyCar career. Using a 3-stop strategy, the New Zealander says he was really proud to execute the strategy and was the most complete race he had driven. The 29-year-old moves to 4th in the drivers' standings. To Formula One, and the Baku City Street Circuit hosted the first sprint round of the year. Red Bull's Sergio Perez won both Saturday's sprint and Sunday's Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Ferrari's Charles Leclerc started from pole on both days, however crossed the line second on Saturday and third on Sunday. Max Verstappen finished third in the sprint and second on Sunday. The 25-year-old telling Speedcafe that he did not like the new weekend format, calling for the sprint to be scrapped altogether. Australia's Oscar Piastri battled a stomach bug all weekend, managing only to eat 4 pieces of toast for the whole event. He narrowly missed out on points, finishing 11th for McLaren in Sunday's race. However, the big talking point from the weekend was the potentially disastrous pit lane incident for Alpine's Esteban Ocon. The Frenchman pitted on the final lap when photographers and officials were already in pit lane preparing for post-race celebrations. The FIA has investigated and found it was in breach of its own international sporting code. Safety changes will be implemented in time for this weekend's Miami Grand Prix. The weekend leaves Verstappen with a 6-point advantage over Perez, and Red Bull are 93 points in front of Aston Martin for the championship. Also in Azerbaijan was Formula 2, where Australian Jack Doohan's nightmare run continued. The 20-year-old failed to take any points from either race over the weekend. Victory went to Oliver Behrman in both races, becoming the first driver in F2 history to top every session of the weekend. To the MotoGP in Spain, where Ducati Lenovo's Francesco Bagnaia seized the lead in a drama-filled race after the initial start was red flagged at turn 1 of the opening lap, claiming one rider. Second went to Brad Binder and third to Australia's Jack Miller on the KTM. Next to the World Endurance Championships for the 6 hours of Spa, Toyota Gazoo Racing took its second 1-2 win in an eventful race. The wet and greasy conditions caught out a number of cars on slicks, leading to several safety cars, making for a thrilling race for spectators. And to Portugal for the first round of the Kumo TCR Tour. Norbert Michelitz converted his pole position to win in race 1, while in race 2, Santiago Huerta took victory. Making his international debut was Australia's Ben Bagwana, who made up 2 spots in race 1 after starting in 19th. He then went better in race 2, finishing 12th. Looking ahead to next weekend, and Formula One heads to America for the Miami Grand Prix, and NASCAR heads to Kansas City. And that's all we have time for in this week's Motorsport Wrap. In the meantime, for your daily racing fix, head to speedcafe.com for all the latest motorsport news. We'll see you next week.